Zach Moss.
And I'm AJ Fenney.
And this is
Hippie
Not Hippie. Hey, everybody, welcome to episode 59 of Hippie Not Hippie.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Today, joining us in the brand new basement studio, Charlie Mellinger. Did I say it right? Did I jack it up again?
Mellinger.
Oh, I did say Mellinger, didn't I?
Yeah.
I got the gur right.
Yeah.
And then this is what we were talking about off air.
Yeah,
I'm a terrible host.
It's okay. My dad pronounced our last name wrong for the first 20-something years of his life.
Are you serious?
Yeah, my whole family did until he moved to Germany in the Air Force. He was stationed over there, and his landlady was like, "Why are you pronouncing your last name wrong? Because we're German descent." And finally, from that point, the curse was broken. And
really?
So I'm trying to forward the movement.
So was he pronouncing it Mellinger?
Mellinger, yeah.
And it's Mellinger. So it's the
yeah.
G, but pronounced like a J, right?
So German pronunciation's like Mellinger.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but then Ellis Island did the whole Americanization of our name and then put an at the end of it.
Wow.
Yeah, and then the Mellingers spread out throughout America or the United States and settled in Texas, and then had my dad.
Okay.
It's weird how
Pronouncing the last name wrong.
It's weird how Ellis Island just did that. They're like, "No, your name's this now."
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a little too. I can't say this. What? No, we're gonna call you this. All right, you're. Yeah,
The ink was a little smudged.
Yeah.
My last name was Matz, M-A-T-Z, before Ellis Island, and then they changed it to Moss, M-A-A-S, and I'm like, God, why'd you have to spell it all fucked up like that? Like
Zach Mass is what it looks like.
Exactly.
yeah, M-A-A-S. I'm like, 2 A's? Fuck you.
Yeah.
Mass.
Mass.
Yeah, you're like,
It's like Boston.
They're like, yeah, let's change his name to something that this family will have to explain on a regular basis for the rest of their life. Every time they're on a phone, that's like M-A-A-S, and they'll be like, okay, M-A-S-S, and you're like, no, M-A-A-S for fucking ever. So, yeah, thanks for joining us, Charlie.
Yeah, Charlie's in town touring. Well, this is coming out after that. So, but you've been in town touring with Slidewalk?
I had one show with Slidewalk.
Okay.
Yeah, that was. I've had 4 shows since I've been here. I played 2 shows up in Granby Ranch.
Okay.
At their resort, and then I played 1 show with Slidewalk at your mom's house in Denver, and then last night I went out to Copper Mountain and played at a bar out there.
For those of you
Nice.
listening, that's a venue, not actually at your mom's house in Denver.
Yeah.
He's not trying to.
Yeah. So is it just you or is the whole band here?
Just me this time around.
Okay.
Yeah, but I actually did get a couple offers for the full band to come out in the summertime.
Nice. So you just do an acoustic?
Acoustic, yeah, I use a loop station and kind of do the Keller Williams style thing.
Yeah.
Build improvised loops during my set, play my original music, and then jam out and, try to be really creative with, each set and see what else can come out. Yeah.
How many people are in your band when you have the full band?
6.
Yeah,
I've got me. I play guitar and sing. And then I've got a keyboard player, Jacob Hurley, who also sings harmony. And I've got Ryan Cook, who plays mandolin and electric guitar. Then I've got 2 drummers. I have Paxton Davis on the full kit, and then I have Brian Stapleton, a.k.a. Chablau, that's what he likes to go by, on aux percussion. And then I've got Mr. Burrito, Jonathan Escobedo on bass.
Yeah.
So full band. We used to have a fiddle player, but that was so videos that you'll see of us online. We had a great fiddle player, but just timing with musical careers just didn't work out. And so right now we're kind of exploring a different sound without him.
Yeah.
Chablau?
Chablau. Yeah.
Chablau.
Yeah, it was a from what I understand, it was a vocal stem that he would do when he was drinking. He would just yell "chablow" around.
Odd catchprise like whammy.
So that's what he started going by. And
Bet he never says it when he comes.
Chablow.
I hope he does.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna start.
Yeah. Now, did you guys start in Arkansas? That's where you guys are based out of, or?
I'm in Fayetteville, Arkansas, and so is Jacob. But we started I was living in Branson at the time when I started playing professionally.
Oh, wow.
And formed this band.
West Branson, or?
No, Branson, true Branson. It was
Okay.
right next to, right off, what's that? Branson, whatever main road.
You were right. You were right by the Yakov Smirnoff
Exactly
comedy.
right. Yeah, dude. Yeah, we were best friends. And Clay Cooper and I hung out on the daily. But yeah, we started there. I was living in a house in Branson and got an offer to play a festival in Eureka Springs at the farm.
Yeah,
And needed
John's
to form,
place, right?
Yeah, Stars and Sauce was the name of the festival. Arkansas's the Fayetteville band, bluegrass band. It was their festival. Got offered to play
Arkansas?
Arkansas. Yeah, they're
Real
a
good.
sick 4-piece bluegrass band.
That's a good name.
Great name. Yeah, they're killing it.
Yeah.
There's some good buddies of mine, really talented musicians. Really,
When was it? What year was that festival?
22.
Okay.
It's 22. It was supposed to be 21, and then I think COVID delayed it. I think there was a little bit still on the fence about things, and so they pushed it off a little bit longer. And then we did it in the spring of 22. And I formed my band because of that. And it was really easy to be like, hey, you guys want to play at the farm on this big stage for this festival? And everyone said yes. And so formed a band, and then it stuck. And then we got the offer from John after our set to play Hillberry, which is the big festival that's there every year. And couldn't say no to that. So then we had a band, and it's been like a year and a half now, almost 2 years since we started doing this project, and it's been really awesome. Really made a lot of progress and a lot of waves, and in the Ozarks for sure, and trying to expand out.
Yeah.
And just make it happen.
Dude, I'll say this about John's at the farm. Like, all those berry festivals have done so much for so many people. I want to say 2014, I was hosting Highberry, and at the time it was at Birds, and I met Opal, and she was just on the tiny stage. She was so nice, but she was just trying to take off, and I think they had won something and then got to move to the big stage, and it was just, I mean, she caught fire.
Oh yeah. So back in the day, the farm used to host Wednesday night potlucks, and the deal was you could either bring an instrument, food, or like a donation, and then you could hang out all night, listen to the jams around the campfire, eat good food, and just hang out with the people who lived on the farm or were coming to visit. And that was my introduction to the farm.
What do they farm there?
Hippies.
Good times. Hippies. Good times. Good music. But yeah, that was my introduction to the farm. And somebody was like, yeah, you should come out to Hillberry. It's like, what's Hillberry? It's like, it's a bluegrass festival that you need to be at. And I was not really into bluegrass at the time, and went to a festival there and changed my life. And now I play in a semi-bluegrass band.
Yeah. Well, that was wild. I met Sarah and John, God, it had to be like 2014, somewhere around there.
Who are
John and
these
Sarah,
people?
like, John's the owner of the farm,
Okay.
and also the creator of Deadhead Productions.
Okay.
So
Yeah, him and Sarah do a lot of work out there, and they have a great team of people that put on my favorite festival that I've ever been to.
yeah, it's great. And it's wild because with Hillberry, I did the first one, and then the second one, they did like a half right after Phases of the Moon dropped off. It was like one of the greatest things John ever did was all these people had already planned to go to Danville, Illinois. So he just slid in and was like, hey, all these bands aren't booked. Would you want to just come down to Arkansas? It's not that far away. And I mean, that was huge.
Yeah.
So many big names. And that's, I think, how he ended up getting Railroad. And Railroad got introduced to that whole thing, and then they bought in.
Wow, that was at the farm?
I think it was at the farm. I'm trying to remember.
Maybe the mountain. I'm not sure what. Birds?
So, well, I feel like I might have met the Railroad guys at Birds, but then, we did it at Mulberry 1 year. And I can't remember if it was Highberry or Hillberry. But I know the venue was too big
Okay.
for what we were bringing in at the time. I mean,
Yeah, my first Hillbilly was 19, so anything prior to 19, I had no idea what was going on there.
Yeah, this would have been
festy kid.
It would have been 2015.
Okay.
Would have been around that time.
Yeah. Right, I was right out of high school and not into the festival scene yet. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
go ahead.
oh, I was just gonna say. So, when did you start playing music? How old were you?
Well, I sang in church choir from there's a kids choir that my parents put me in at 8 years old. So that was my first introduction into singing in front of people. Then my dad had a guitar in his in my bedroom closet. There's his guitar that he bought when he was in his 20s and never picked it up. And I asked him if I could play it, and he said, "Yeah." Got me some lessons at the church, and I started playing in the worship band there.
Okay. And what age is that?
I was 11 when I picked up the guitar, 10 or 11, probably.
And how old are you now, Charlie?
27.
Okay.
So your first band was a church band.
Worship band, yeah. I was the backup acoustic guitar player. They didn't even plug my guitar in. They just let me stand on stage and just
let him noodle around.
You were the backup, so they were
backup. I was 13 when I started doing that. With the leader was probably in his 50s. Yeah. John Hicks was his name, great guy, and then a bunch of other adults that were there.
They're like, if you're ever gonna step up, somebody has to dive.
Well, they ended up they felt like the band needed to be younger, just because the youth band that we were playing in was all adults, and so they wanted a younger adult band or teenager band. So I ended up starting to lead. I was the worship leader and formed a band of my friends.
Yeah,
and that was first experience of being a band leader, and where I really got my passion for playing on stage.
Hard to be a youth band when the guys are middle aged.
Hard to connect.
So what was your next band after that? I'm guessing you've had maybe a few.
In high school, I played with some buddies in a band called The Perimeter, and it was mainly some music that my buddy Chipper had wrote, and I sang a few songs with them. And
was it what kind of music was it?
Indie rock, kind of like that stuff that you'd see at, I don't know, a downtown music joint, and I don't know, it's really loud, clean guitar tones, and I don't know, it was fun. We were young, but I didn't really play in many bands. I kind of went the solo route, and I was really inspired young by people like Jason Mraz and John Mayer, and really pop based
Jamie.
Yeah, the pop based singer songwriter guitar guys before I got introduced to
So when John Mayer formed Dead and Co, were you pumped?
That's why I'm a Deadhead, man. It's so funny. So my buddy that I was hanging out with, he was like, "We should go see Dead and Company," and I'm like, "What's Dead and Company?" In my head, I'm comparing them to Hollywood Undead. You remember those guys?
No.
Okay, it was completely different than Dead and Company, early 2000s dirty rock, pop rock kind of stuff. But my buddy was like, "You like John Mayer, right?" And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "You like acid, right?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "You should come to this show with me." And so me and my girl at the time and another buddy drove out to Nashville, Tennessee, and saw them on their first run at Bridgestone. And
so that was 2015, right?
Yeah, that was that was the November of 2015. We drove out there and got stuck in Nashville for 24 hours, but saw the best show I've ever seen in my life.
I caught that first tour in Atlanta. I was on tour doing stand-up, and then I had a night off, so I picked up a ticket.
Nice.
I was in Indianapolis, found the ticket, and went to Atlanta. And were there people walking out in Nashville?
Of the show?
Yeah.
If they were, I couldn't tell. I was locked into those.
It was wild because there were a lot of people in Atlanta that had left.
They were just no, it's not the same.
Well, I think it was hardcore Deadheads went, and they're like, "I don't like this," and then there were John Mayer. There were a lot of teeny boppers that did not know what world they were walking into.
Can you imagine?
And I mean, that was real strange.
I mean, I really didn't know what I was going into, but I did have a buddy who was a huge Deadhead and knew what was up. I mean, both of my buddies. Actually, Reed, the guy from Slidewalk, is one of my buddies who went with us out there.
Yeah?
Yeah, and so he's one of the ones who introduced me to the Dead. But I was comfortable with them. But as soon as you walk into the from the metal detectors, it's just like
Different.
tie-dye everywhere, and everyone's just weaving in and out of each other, and it's just like this huge ball of energy. And we're coming up and seeing all of this experience. It's very new, and but it changed my life forever. I was deadhead hardcore.
What kind of acid did you take that day? Do you remember?
I don't know. It was some paper.
Some paper.
Yeah, some paper. I don't know. I remember seeing some guy walking downtown, and he stuck his tongue out and had a tab on it, and I stuck my tongue back and had two. It was a fun little moment.
Dude, getting to see, I missed Jerry because I was gonna go. I'm older, but like we had tickets in like '94, I think, and the tour, that entire scene had gotten real bad around that time.
Yeah.
And I thought I would just wait and get a chance to see him the next year, and then it was over. But yeah, I got back on the bus in 2012 with Further at Red Rocks.
Nice.
But I mean, Dead and Co. Getting to hear Mickey and Billy play drums together was like one of the greatest moments of my life.
I think that was my favorite, like, part of my first show. Was like, I remember sitting down, the lights go dark, and halfway between the second set, and my buddy turns around and he goes, "Get ready to go to another world." I'm like, "What do you mean go to another world?" And then Mickey and Billy just start going at it. It's like,
dude, when he hits that weird machine that he made,
the beam.
They did that in Boulder, and it hit so hard. The first time I saw him, I couldn't breathe. Like the bass got in, I was like, "Fuck, I've never had that happen."
And he knows how to play with your brain. Mickey's great.
Yeah, that one woman threw up.
Oh God! We took Zach to his first Dead show in Boulder last year, and he was moving around pretty good, and he was just starting to get into the second set. He was like, "Man, I'm starting to groove on that."
Yeah, I'm not a big jam fan,
Right?
But I looked over, I could see him, and I was like, "Oh, he's getting it. The hook's in right now."
I was having a good time, and then this lady threw up all over the back of my legs.
The back of you? Oh no! Just spilled it. Gave him an out.
Yeah, man, I ran away. Ran away, and then I figured when I came back that I was like, "There's no way they're still standing there in the puke zone." And nope, AJ's standing there.
I'm just holding a poster.
He's holding his poster covered in vomit. The poster tube was like...
That was the craziest thing because Alex and Alex were there, and she had no idea that the poster tube had been puked on. And she was like, and I'm just holding it.
She thought it was just beer.
Yeah, and she's like, "What's wrong?" She goes, "Do you want a new poster tube?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she goes, "Here, we got a new one." And she just grabs it and opens it. And I'm like, "What?" Come to find out, she had no idea it was puke. And I was like, "I thought you were just a boss."
Gross. Yeah, I told her at the end, she, connected the dots. We all figured it out. Because, and then she...
What?
Well, and also she kept asking me if I wanted to, go sit by AJ, but, AJ was, in the puke zone. And I was like, "No, I don't want to go." I was like, I'm afraid of over there. And I think she just thought I was, crazy on mushrooms or something. "Oh, he's afraid of over there. All right, we'll just let him..."
Yeah. I mean, that's something that happens sometimes where you go, "Over there's not so good."
Yeah.
The lady was the lady that puked on you. Was she one of those spinners? Was she one of the ladies?
She was an older lady that I think. My guess is she'd probably done some mushrooms, smoked, and it looked like she had been hitting beer pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
And I heard it. And the gross part was once we realized what was going on, she had a little solo cup that she was trying to put it in, but she couldn't hold on to it.
Yeah, it's like watching somebody. Have you ever seen somebody try to throw up into a can?
No, that seems like
it doesn't work well. It doesn't work at all.
I've seen a cup, not a can.
Yeah.
Cup would probably it's seen it work, but
yeah. I mean, you got to know where it's almost like a slight gag reflex where you go, "Huh, yeah, that's it." I had my cousin Tori. One time, we were walking home from a party back to my grandma's house, and I don't know why I found this so amusing. And he's probably 6 years younger than me, something like that. And all of a sudden, I get, I don't know, a quarter block in front of him, and I look back, and he just stops in this pensive mode, and he's just kind of looking, and then he gets up and starts walking back, and I'm like, "What's going on, man?" And he goes, SDP. And I was like, "What is an SDP?" And he goes, "Stop, drop, puke." And then you just keep going. And I was like, "What is it? What?" Stop, drop, and puke. So he just stopped. Look, I couldn't even tell he was puking. He just did like he was thinking. It just went, And they just got up like nothing happened.
So a fucking comic in a riff last night said discernment.
Did they?
So in the last episode, AJ just used the word discernment.
I was like, people have a strong discernment to mustard.
Yeah, which didn't really work.
But it made sense on the second definition, I remember.
But then I was like, what the fuck? Then he says it on stage, and I wanted to be like, there it is. There's a fucking word again.
Get in the zone, discernment zone.
Yeah, I was like, well, it's a fucking simulation for sure after that. So, Anthony Bartolo.
Oh, he did it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Were you born in Missouri?
I was born in Little Rock, Arkansas.
Okay.
Yeah, North Little Rock, technically. Spent 21 years of my life there. And then moved to Springfield, Missouri.
Okay.
And, just kind of on a whim, I had some buddies that I was living with, or hanging out with, that moved up there. Said that the music scene was way better than Little Rock. And
Dude, Springfield had some people. I mean, that's, God, the guitar player from Frasco.
yeah, Sean Eccles.
Yeah, dude.
Him and his
God, he
brother
rips.
Joel. Yeah. So Frasco. So my old manager at a bar that I was working at, his name's Matthew Stoll. He was working at a bar called Waxy O'Shea's down there, managing it. And do you know Ben Miller? Remember Ben Miller?
Yeah.
He's an Ozark cat that played kind of like dirty blues.
Yeah.
And he had a band that was opening, and Andy Frasco was coming through town. He used to tour by himself and just pick bands, hand pick them in that town and just play with whoever. And he had found, it was like him and Ernie, the sax player, and they found Sean Eccles up in Springfield, and they jammed in Waxy O'Shea's with Ben Miller. And then after Ben Miller got done, they ended up doing like a super jam with all of them.
Okay.
And from that day, like Sean ended up going on the road with them and being their guitar player. From what I understand, I could be.
Frasco is fucking amazing.
He is.
Also a super nice guy. I mean, he was hosting Mulberry at, what was it? Waka. He was like one of the hosts of Waka. He kept telling him, you can't advertise that we're giving away free drugs just to get people to the stage.
But were they? From what
I watched him one year. We were dual hosting Hillberry or one of them. And somebody brought up, because there's a dude who runs around the festival with a giant spoon.
Yeah, I've seen, he spins it. He's a flow artist.
So he brought the spoon up to Frasco, and they had put a whole bunch of fucking flour in it. And so in front of a full crowd, he just slams his face in it, and they lose their goddamn minds. And John's like, hey, come on.
I don't know how those boys on that stage play as well as they do with the amount of substances that I see them doing on stage. It's very impressive.
Big D told me that, I mean, Frasco is relentless. Like, as hard as he parties, allegedly, and I'd like to ask him at some point, but he will still get up early, and he would like work out like a machine. For
You have to.
time.
Yeah, you'd have to take care of your body.
Sweat it out.
The guys are monsters.
But I met Andy at Pat and Alley Pub. Did you ever go to that place?
Oh yeah, I've played at Pat and Alley a couple times.
That's a venue in Springfield that I miss.
So they just apparently, I think they just opened it up again under the name Dive on Patton.
Okay.
So that closed down, and then closed down from COVID, and then reopened recently. I haven't been to it yet, but I think they're still doing live music. They've got the same stage area.
Oh, dude. Because I'll tell you this, like the Blue Room's great, but I love doing comedy at that place too. Because the stage is small, you get right there into standing room people. It's wonderful.
When you were talking about the big old spoon and the drugs, I was like, oh man, are they going to put heroin in the spoon? That is always a great technique. I'm a fan of the, hey man, I'll buy a beer for everyone who comes and sits up front.
Oh, yeah.
And then you just buy one beer.
Oh, yeah.
Here you go, guys.
Yeah.
There's 16 cups. Split it.
It's a fun one, but you could do that with acid. Like, I got to hit an acid for everybody that comes up to the front.
A little tiny pair of scissors.
The nice part of acid, though, is you could just dump that in a cup and go, now just bring the love jug around and see who's going to get the big swig.
Yeah, my buddy used to have a Camelback, and he would cut up empty vials after they were done and throw them in there with Kool-Aid. And he'd just walk around and be like, you want to sip?
You thirsty?
And man,
it's electric. Boogie, woogie, woogie, woogie.
Those sips would really get you going.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah. Have you ever eaten an empty vial of acid?
No. When I was getting it, it was all, I mean, we had gel tabs, but everything I was getting was paper. So I had never seen liquid. God, it was well into like festival time. Right, ever actually seen droppers.
Yeah, and that was all paper. And then it was either the pad, like just blotter, just like white on white kind of stuff.
I had a guy that told me he had a crystal.
Well, yeah. So what was happening? My friends in Rapid were getting LSD in crystal form, and then cutting it with Everclear or whatever.
Yeah.
And then so there's a lot of like liquid acid going around for quite a while, and it was very good. Yeah. But yeah, my buddy, like, there wasn't any acid around for like I did, dry time or whatever, South Dakota, and I was like, dude, sell me one of those fucking empties. And he's like, I won't sell it to you. I'll give it to you.
Yeah.
Under one condition. And I was like, oh, yeah, what's that? And he's like, you got to eat the whole thing. And I was like, okay. And then he like goes through all of them and he's like, this one looks pretty full. Looks like there's still like a pretty noticeable amount of liquid. And I like cut the top off of it and put it in my mouth, and my whole mouth was just soaked with fucking acid. And I was like, whoa.
This is excessive.
Yeah, and then I went to a rave, and I all I could see was solid colors for like an hour.
Yeah.
And I just went and hung out by the speaker. And
freaker by the speaker.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. And whatever light, like, the lights in the room usually have like a tone where it's like green or and they're kind of switching. Like whatever color that was, that's just my whole world was just solid that fucking color. And yeah.
Just existing.
And, luckily I'd eaten enough acid where I was like, this will go away.
Yeah. That's been the mantra of a lot of things I've done, where when I remember to just go, this too will pass.
Yeah. I was like,
At some point I will land.
Yeah. I was like, just enjoy the color and just enjoy the color you're seeing and the music, and you'll see again.
Yeah,
if
you'll
you
see,
can.
man. Ignore the dragon. Let's get back to the orange.
Yeah. I was just like, well, but I've definitely seen it go very wrong for people. Usually it involves, I don't know what it is, but people a lot of times when they're freaking out on acid, I feel like get naked.
Oh, I was a naked guy.
Yeah.
I loved it, but I wasn't freaking out. I just enjoyed. I would get really warm.
Need to be free. Yeah.
And I felt constricted and hot. So then I would just like take my clothes off, and I was like, oh, whatever.
Yeah.
So it's just naked guy rolling.
I've seen a correlation of people at festivals getting too high and needing to get on stage and needing to like speak to the crowd and like get on the microphone. Like I think you may have been one of the, no, it wasn't. It was a buddy of some people that we were at a festival with recently. Like one of the guys got too high and needed to tell people something on stage, and I wonder like if that's a space that people go to, like the naked space and like the rolling in mud space. There's like, I gotta tell people. I haven't seen anybody successfully get to the microphone. I want to hear what they say.
I just talked to God.
He had a message for you. You gotta relay it.
Yeah, they will a lot of times grab Nazari, like, and you can tell that it means something to them. So when even if you don't say it, you have to go back and go, yeah, man, I got it out there. Because it's like, hey, do you know Jim? Because Jim needs to know that I got this rock, and it's really important. I got to get it to him, but I haven't found him. We met. He's got a green tent. Do you know Jim? And I was like, yeah, man, I'll let Jim know that you're holding his rock.
Oh, people have announcements for you to make?
Yeah, like when you're trying to go back, you're trying to get backstage, and then the security will stop them, but they're like, and you can see in their face whatever they need to get out. They just got to get out. And they go,
get it.
So when you've been playing, have you had people rush the microphone?
Not yet, but I hope to, because
you're going to give them a platform, right?
Well, maybe we'll see. But so my big thing is I love creating the experience. I want to be able to. I want to be that band that people feel comfortable doing substances at. And like I want them to. Like I've had really cool experiences. People telling me at like late night at festivals that may have, been on some substances and had a really beautiful experience. And those stories are great. And I want to continue to like curate that space and have a safe space for people to go to, and give them a badass show. And if that means they get too wild and need to come up on stage and do that, then I'm either probably doing something right for them, but I also need to keep safety in mind for everybody and the band and the equipment and everything. But so when that time comes up, I guess I'll make that decision. Yeah. But I haven't.
But there's that moment.
In our line of work, if you see someone come to the stage, you know you're probably going to be fighting.
Nobody's going to steal the mic.
There's a thing about being on a substance at like a jam show, probably any show, but sometimes you just feel like you're connected with whoever's bringing you that joy. Mm-hmm. We were at a Fish show in Kansas City, and this dude, he looked like he sold cars. And I was like, oh, this guy hasn't cut loose in a while. And I'll never forget, he turned to my buddy Dave and I, and he goes, do you see that? You see that up there? That's my best friend. That's my best friend, Trey, up there. Way to go, Trey. That's my best friend. And, like, he was... Either they were friends or he genuinely was in that open heart space where he's like, Trey is everything. And I'm not going to get in his way.
I get that.
I've seen a lot more like stuff like that with the ecstasy, especially. Like, so it was weird when because I sold ecstasy at these raves, and
that's my best friend. That's my best friend Zach right there. Well, he's got my medicine.
What was weird though is that like it was in South Dakota, so you had like all of these. Like men that were like feeling feelings for the first time.
Oh yeah.
Like I think like a lot of like there'd be all these dudes rolling and then they'd be like, oh man, people just be hugging and shit and like it was wild. Man, the ecstasy was good back then.
Yeah.
It's like people anymore when they talk about it, they're like, yeah, I did some Molly or whatever. I'm like, oh yeah, did you have the urge to just hug strangers? And they're like, no. And I'm like, it wasn't that good.
Yeah, you didn't do enough.
Yeah, if a tree doesn't feel real embracive, then
no, but the connecting with like that guy with saying his Trey was his best friend and having that connection, I felt that way when I saw John Mayer play on stage. I was up in the balcony, way far away, but I felt like I was right there.
You're like, John's my best friend.
He knew he was playing that show for me, and like every note, like I knew what was coming. And I was like, yeah, go here and do this, and then it was coming. Like, but our reality is the way that we shape it in that space, and
dude, April 2014 at the Fox Theater in St. Louis, Rat Dog was playing. And you can hear this on archives. It was unintentional. Jimmy Tibby was still in jail. And I got in there way too early, so I'm holding down the front row when they come out. And I'm so close to Bob. Like, I'm just sucked in. And I'm dancing, but I'm feeling the energy. It's so intense. You know that moment when someone looks at you and you make deep eye contact and you go, where do I know you from? Like you do that moment where you're thinking, he looks at me and we locked in and dude, I felt this wild energy transfer and I was like, you don't know me. What's going on here? And I felt weird because I had recently written a Twitter post about the length of Bob Weir's shorts and why they had gotten longer had to do to the descending of his balls.
I've seen that. Yeah.
And so I thought maybe he was mad at me, but he looked at me and we got sucked in so bad that it fucked up Hell in a Bucket. Like, so that's where you can hear it on archives. He's going, yeah, baby, going to Hell in a Bucket. And then I was like, oh, fuck. And I was like, that was me.
My bad.
Oops.
My bad, Bob.
Too close. Sorry about your capris, my man.
Oh, man.
Shorts are strange.
They are. Especially when they're pants. They're more like they're capris, but are capris and knickers the same thing?
I'm not sure.
A knicker is like a looser capri. It's like a flowy, like a harem pant almost. Maybe I'm not sure.
Yeah, harem pant.
I don't want to say that word again on a podcast.
No, as soon as I said it's a hard. Yeah, you really got to hit that K.
Yeah.
Some people in Denver hit that K too hard. I found out, man. Found that out the other night.
I'm watching this like World War II, but they've colored it or whatever. I told you about it, so it's in color. And one of the weirdest things that I saw in there was like in Africa, there's all that fighting between the British and the Germans in Africa, and they're like wearing shorts. And it's like, it's really weird to see like a soldier like running in like khaki shorts. You're just like, oh, so Dockers are the military uniform, Docker shorts. And
it's just like Tomb Raider soldiers running.
Yeah, it's what they all like. Yeah, and then I was just thinking like, man, I think I would still want pants if I was at war. Like I think shorts would make me feel a little too vulnerable, where I'd be like, you gotta crawl and jump and do shit. I'm like, I don't want exposed knees in war.
Right.
What the fuck? So
your pale skin reflecting off the sun. Spotted.
Oh yeah, and then you get sunburnt on your legs and
pants all day.
Then you gotta be like, Colonel, can I not go? I got sunburn real bad. They're like, no, this guy lost an arm. He's still fighting.
So a lot of the old school people kind of frown in comedy. It's like known that you're really not supposed to wear shorts on stage.
Same with music. Yeah, same with.
Is that with music too?
Being a front person. Yeah, and like I see the only people who are allowed to wear shorts.
Bass players
and drummers.
Yeah.
Drummers are allowed to wear gym shorts so they can do the thing.
Yeah.
My drummer's allowed to be shirtless too.
What about so does that hold true at like
not it's Paxton, but yeah, I'd like to get Brian Luce to get shirtless on stage sometime. Paxton's he's our kit drummer and he's all into it full body every time, and by the second song I'm turned around and he's shirts off.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. Second song.
Dude, drumming is fucking hard work.
Yeah.
I can't do it.
I'll play them for fun or whatever, but like, man, when I think about like, fuck, if I had to play these things for like 2 or 3 fucking hours,
That's a workout.
Dude,
oh man,
it's hard labor.
Well, and then your hands are just like fucking mitts.
Yeah. Did you ever see Split Lip Rayfield?
Yeah.
Do you know this band?
No.
They're kind of like a hillbilly punk band a little bit, but the bass player, it's the wildest thing. He created a single string bass with a gas can. So he built it out of a gas can. It sounds wild, but I mean, he's got to tape his fingers up halfway through the set because of blood.
Yeah.
He's just ripping them apart.
Is it like a jug bass?
I guess, yeah.
Like a wash tub
It'd be kind
bass?
of like a wash tub bass, but he made it out of an old gas can. Not like a gas can you pour, but like a vehicle gas can. Gas tank, I guess.
Okay.
The bass player for Ben Miller he did one out of a wash tub and like a broomstick, but then had weed eater string, and he had a like a bike brake or something that he used as a tensioner to change the notes on it. That was a cool, difference, and I hadn't seen it. Of course, he moves it back and forth to do it, but he's also utilizing that handbrake right there somehow.
Yeah.
Sure. Bass players are interesting.
They're wild. They've always been wild dudes. Like, if you watch any bass player, they're always like in your face. They're always wobbling a little bit.
I think they're the hardest, like, at least for me, that was always the hardest piece to find for a band, was a good bass player.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like they're rare. They know they're rare.
They almost always have, like, they definitely have style, the bass player.
Because
like that
guitarists, there's a million guitar players.
Yeah.
But,
like,
Finding
what is
a
it?
good solid bass
Ryan
player's
Stasek from Umphreys?
Yeah.
You ever see that dude? He's had that huge mustache for a while.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
My Burrito's got, for some time, most of the time, he's rocking the handlebar mustache, and he's got really curly black hair, and he has the mullet.
Oh, nice.
Handlebar mustache, mullet, black mullet, and then he wears, he'll wear like short cut off jorts and a vest with no shirt and like like a cowboy hat and like cowboy boots, and he's styling. He's our dude, and he's
does he play upright or regular?
He plays regular electric bass. He actually started with an acoustic bass, like one of those ones that you can just play unplugged, and then he had I liked the sound of the acoustic bass because we were just a trio when we started, me and Ryan, mandolin player, and him, and I liked that sound. But then we got the full band, and he got a bigger bass rig and, started playing electric bass and kind of changed our sound. Now he's actually working on getting funds to get a stand-up bass. So that is have the versatility. So eventually he'll be a stand-up bass player. But yeah, for now he's rocking the electric.
Do you guys have an album out, or have you recorded any singles or anything?
We have a live recording. We have a live album out right now. We did it at our actual first festival, that Stars and Sauce. We got it recorded, and it is out there on all streaming services. And we actually got, we have, well, I guess the video is not from the same festival, but we have our whole Hillberry set that was recorded, so audio and video, done by concert casters John Peckham, and that's on YouTube. And so you can catch really good quality. Check out our band to see what we got. I'm actually in the process of working on a solo album at the moment, working on more of like the singer-songwriter style. I'm going to do all the instrumentation myself.
Okay.
And then just some of the songs that I really want to focus on the words and make it about the message rather than the instrumentation and putting the full band together. And I kind of want to have those two be separate entities.
Yeah.
Have Charlie Mellinger Band and then have Charlie Mellinger and be able to do both.
Kind of like the Dead and JGB.
Yeah, in a way, for sure.
Well, and what I always found is that bands are hard to maintain.
Yeah, for sure.
And you never know when Shablau or Burrito, what's going to happen.
Exactly. My guys have, I've got two of them that have kids, and they all have partners that, they have jobs and careers and houses that they've got to manage. And this is my band, and I'm asking them to sacrifice their time and their lives to come and make my dreams happen. And, that's a big thing of me to ask. And it is, me being in Fayetteville and then being in Springfield, my choice to move was a career decision, for sure, but it has made it a little difficult to get some of the things that we want to do done in the time that we want to get them done. But, patience and, just being consistent and, we're still playing shows and practicing every week and doing what we can do. But yeah, getting our lives to match up to like sit down for 2 weeks or 3 weeks and record an album, that it's been kind of challenging.
Yeah.
So we've been recording a lot of our live sets and getting it out there that way, getting the music. But I'm working on doing what I can as a solo artist to promote my music too.
Now, Charlie, do you do like all originals? Do you dip into covers at all?
So if it depends on the
If you're ASCAP, no.
right. Now that it does depend on the venue for sure. And if I'm like say Granby Ranch, it was a bar. It was a little like a lounge that I played in. People just coming and getting it and then heading out. That type of show, I'm going to play a lot of covers. I'm going and I'm making tips. I'm working the crowd. I'm playing the songs that people want to hear, doing requests, and peppering in my original music there. Now, if like say Your Mom's House, the venue where I played in Denver, that was marketed as a Charlie Mellinger show at a venue with another band that does original music. And so that type of venue that's, a venue, I'm going to go play there, or a festival, I'm going to play all original music and then pepper in 1 or 2 covers.
Gotcha.
Now, if it's a solo show, most of the time I don't play covers. I'm going to, play all original music. Now, if it's the band show and it's a big party time, people like to hear the covers, and it's, it's a fun, and we can jam them out and, crowd pleasers. But
yeah.
Most of the time I want to play my original music, and, I have a lot of songs that are fun. I have a lot of songs that'll make you cry, want to rock out, and so I have a nice range of genre hopping that we'd like to do, give a fun experience.
Okay.
Who's your favorite artist to cover?
Favorite artist to cover? I cover a lot of Dead. I do, and I'm actually in a Dead cover band that with my buddy Andy Kuma and Burrito and Shablau. They're also in that band, and the guy that I played in Copper with last night, he's that guy, and so we play a lot of Dead music, and I like to explore that space, put my own taste on it. I don't play Jerry licks, and that's not my style. But I like to take those words and that music and make it my own. That's probably the artist that I cover the most because I know so many songs. But
But also, I think with the Dead, there's such range from like an 80s feel to a poppy dance thing to disco to really bluegrassy to kind of hippie psychedelic. And then also that Working Man's Dead album was like so hard blues.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Oh, yeah, like...
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about.
No. Yeah.
No. But yeah, the band, we'll cover like... I mean, off the top, like we do a wide range of covers. Like we do a Clint Eastwood by the Gorillaz. Our production manager Taylor, he raps and he'll come up on stage and we'll do that with him. But we'll also cover like Steve Miller. We've covered Blackstreet. We do No Diggity.
Nice.
We've done.
It was funny was it Chet Faker or whatever who covered that and put it out and it blew up. And like, what's funny is I've heard that most of the younger people thought that was the original.
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew it was a cover, but like growing up, but I never really listened to that version. It was Chet Faker, the YouTube era that was my like prime of just searching YouTube and finding it. And yeah, so the version that we do of No Diggity is his same chord progression except to the beat of Blackstreet's version. It's like a little sped up, a little funkier kind of. We don't do it the slow kind of piano version.
I wish I could remember the name of this band. It was a 3-piece, and I think the drummer sang. And this is last year at Hillberry, but they closed out with a hard rock version of Poison, Belle Biv DeVoe's Poison, and it was unbelievable.
Where is it, Hillberry last year?
Yeah, it was at Hillberry. It was at the tent stage.
I don't think I caught that.
Yeah, it was really wild.
Yeah.
I'll have to figure out what the name of that band was, but man, they were good.
Do you like burning hippie shit?
Burning?
Like you burn sage, Palo Santo, anything like that?
Palo's my favorite, yeah. And it just smells good. I don't necessarily know if I believe in the like metaphysical holistic aspects of the burning. Been like I've also heard a lot of controversial issues with, using holy sacred like wood that you didn't grow, that you didn't do it, and culture. It's the year of the culture, like the era of cultural appropriation. I'm trying to be, respectful of that, but also like I like the way Palo Santo smells.
Yeah.
And so I'll burn a stick in my house, and I use it more as an incense, trying to clear spirits or do energy. I don't know how to do all that.
What about crystals? You got any rocks in your pockets?
Not right now. No rocks. I'm not Cam. But I do have a display of a lot of Arkansas quartz that I dug myself or was gifted or,
Yeah, rock hounding is like a kind of an Arkansas thing, isn't it? Like it's like
there's a lot of stuff down there.
Oh yeah, there's
quartz and diamonds.
Quartz and diamonds, amethyst. You can find like the Ozarks are riddled with quartz or with crystals of all sorts, and you can go out to there's secret spots or really public spots that you can go to, and you paid $25 and you can walk out with a bucket full of crystals.
Yeah.
And
I got a bunch of wands. I think it was George something in it's a mine in Little Rock that we went to.
I know there's the Coleman Crystal Mines.
Coleman. Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah.
And we went there, and they just bring up big piles of dirt, drop it, and you just go to town. If you go after a rain, man, you're gonna
find stuff. The diamond mines, they're actually finding like some really valuable diamond. You can go out there and you get to take home whatever you find.
I saw an article about somebody who found like an 8-carat diamond recently. And that's
well, a lot of times too, if you find something that valuable, the place where you go to, they'll want a picture, and then they'll offer a lot of times to buy it before you leave with it. When they do that, you go, I think this is worth more than you're willing to put up.
Yeah. They know somebody who can cut it and clean it and make it look pretty. And
man, I watched what's the movie about the nuclear scientist guy that's
Oppenheimer?
Oppenheimer, yeah. And I was thinking about that because they do the first nuclear test in that tower.
That's where
and AJ has a piece of trinitite, which is like the sand that is melted by the nuclear explosion there, and it has like a black fleck, and they said that the black flecks are like part of the tower or whatever.
Yeah, cool. So but it is inside of plastic it's in a plastic bag, locked inside of a glass jar that's also inside of a case. I just don't want it close to me.
Yeah, really radioactive. Yeah.
So, but part of me wonders if maybe that stuff has more. Like, I was watching this and I was like, I wonder since this movie came out, if that shit
is more valuable now.
Is more valuable now because people want a little piece of it.
Was it Don? Was that the guy's name? Do you remember?
I can't remember, but man, when I told you when I went back, right, that he had gotten cancer and was dying.
But the wild thing is, like, dude, there were such large pieces of trinitite that they had. And he was like, you want to hold this? He goes, you can feel the heat. And I was like, no, I want you to put that.
Put that away.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. And they were like, he has cancer. I was like, I believe it.
Yeah.
You know, like, sure, I bet he does.
Yeah.
How did he get that?
How do you feel about dreadlocks?
How do I feel about dreadlocks?
Yeah.
I feel like my hair is on the way there, but not by choice.
Gotcha.
My long hair has become more of a nuisance than anything. It is starting to dread up all the time, unless I brush it like every day. But dreadlocks are cool. You know, I think, you know, if you want to rock your dreads, then have them done. Then cool. Just make sure they stay clean, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, you know, take care of yourself. But also, if you want to be a dirty kid, then be a dirty kid and not wash your hair. You know, but I don't know. They're not for me. I probably don't see myself ever having dreadlocks, but I don't have any problem with them. I don't think. Yeah, they're all right.
My feed, my Instagram feed is destroyed because, like, it just, Marciana asked me, she goes, why do you have so many, like, hot women with dreadlocks just showing up in your feed? I'm like, yours doesn't look, she goes, no, this has been personalized.
Are you
the algorithm.
Are you still off the porn?
I just told you what I've been watching.
They go by the duration of how
I
long
made
you
it
watch
about
the videos.
6 months.
Yeah.
And then I fell off the wagon. I don't know if I'll try it again this year.
Yeah.
I tried to put it on the shelf for a little while to see how far I can go, but
Well,
Distant. Go
yeah.
to distant.
But
6 months. Did you notice any changes?
Yeah, I found myself not getting, like, as obsessive. Like, that's the whole thing, is because of my addictive personality. Like, once I get into something, it can become a habit. And so then it's just like, oh, I got to go to bed. Well, I got to watch this
I
fucking
think jerking
porn to
off's a
pass it.
habit for a lot of people, AJ. I don't think it has anything to do with your brain.
No. I'm just, yeah. So what I was trying to
Oh,
do is,
AJ jerks off every day. What a weirdo. What a weirdo. No one else does that. He has an addictive personality.
oh,
Probably go see somebody about that.
yeah, I might want to talk to my therapist.
So you made it 6 months.
in about 6 months, yeah.
Yeah. Did it change your boners?
No, I don't think it changed. I mean, I still got a fucking 45-year-old boner. It's doing its best.
Did you bring back the spank bank?
What do you mean?
Like, would you put things into your brain to jerk off to?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean that's always back
The
there.
file
You ever had your computer lock up and you go, well, I guess I got to go to the old HP.
No, that was I had New Orleans where they were like, you need to enter your ID if you want to look at porn, and I was like,
Right, and you
I was
saw
like,
what happened there. You smashed a glass door.
Yeah.
You were so raged.
No, I googled. I didn't.
I gotta
What I
tell Charlie
realized
what
is that I didn't have a spank bank anymore. When as soon as that happened, I was like, Jesus Christ, my spank bank's illegal. It's like from fucking.
High school.
Yeah, you know, I'm like, I don't want to. Like I. So I was like, I just googled chicks in bikinis.
Do the rest.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Get shot sent to like
Yeah.
a Shein website and get to shopping for bikinis.
Yeah.
So guns or flowers?
As far as like, I've never owned a gun. I've shot a gun like a few times, and I will have a gun someday, but I'm more, I guess, probably a flower guy. if we're gonna choose between the two, you know,
I like
guns.
how you say I will have a gun someday.
Yeah, I will have.
So
one.
you have a future plan for a gun?
Well, I do have my grandfather passed away and left me a pistol of his that, you know, my mom's holding on to for now, and you know, I'll get it when she wants to give it to me kind of deal. It's like a special handing down thing. It was his service pistol. So it's kind of like when she feels like she wants me to have it, then I'll get it. But
That's kind of cool. You don't hear about that as much, like heirlooms.
Yeah.
Like where I feel like that used to be something that happened way back when. Like, you think about the West, like in the old Westerns and stuff. Like, oh, take Grandpa's buck knife.
yeah, this is an old 357 pistol from.
Oh, wow.
Like he carried it his whole service. Like he was a cop in Georgia, and
I got a family heirloom that was passed down to me. It's right up there behind the.
Oh, wow.
If you want to grab it, AJ, it's behind the thing, and it's a green thing with a man and a monkey.
Wait, hold on. Okay, I don't think I've seen this. Let me see what this is. Oh God, is it the statue? What is this?
Yeah, that's it.
Whoa.
So this says Monkey Bank?
Yeah, it's a monkey bank.
Okay, hold on. So I'm going to assume. Can you hit this?
Wait.
Okay. And then,
yeah, here, maybe do it so that it's more on camera.
yeah, maybe we should let Charlie do it. Do you want to hit it?
Yeah, just push it
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
We're simple human beings.
Dude, that is.
And then you push it back down?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, that is a dense thing.
So
So where did this come from?
my grandpa and grandma used to have it, like when you came in their door, they had like some shelves with knickknacks on it. It was always there, and I always fucked with it when I was a kid and would play with it. But no, I love this thing, and I looked it up because I was just curious, and it's worth like $800.
Wow, jeez. I bet you could clean it up too, and maybe it wouldn't take much.
Yeah.
Got a little dust on it.
So
but
cool though.
That is really sweet. Does it just keep the
And I'm
coins
assuming
in here?
it's just
Well, I think they just go right.
at
Yeah.
the bottom? Or,
Yeah, so you could put it on whatever you wanted to.
yeah. So and it's just spring loaded. I mean that's all steel, right?
dense.
Oh yeah, you could fucking fuck somebody up with that thing.
He hit me with the monkey bank.
Wow.
So yeah,
Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my family.
My grandpa gave us a bunch of, he had 3 giant, he was a hunter and a fisher, and he had huge fish on his wall, and I ended up getting this big largemouth bass. It's massive. It's probably like a 10-pound bass.
Wow.
Probably, yeah. That was mine, just dead fish.
And then that Mario Brothers lunch pail up there was from my other grandma, so that's my other.
Oh, that's sweet. Oh yeah, that's wild.
It's a me, a Mario.
It's a me, Zelda.
It is Mario playing Zelda.
Oh yeah, it's Mario 2 and Zelda 2. Yeah, they're just like sitting. They don't even look like they're playing. They look like they're like, we're just watching the Zelda television
Yeah, they're
show.
just watching it because they got the popcorn out.
The remote in their hand.
So my dad for Christmas got me a popcorn pack.
A what?
It's like special Denver Nuggets popcorn tin, but I get to pick the 3 different kinds of popcorn.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
man, my dad was fucking pumped about this popcorn.
Yeah. Cinnamon? Did you go cinnamon?
So we went, they had crazy flavors that I hadn't seen before. So we got salted caramel.
Okay, that's a good one.
And then I think we got cheddar and sour cream.
All right, that's new.
And then everything bagel.
Oh, everything bagel sounds good. We got a container of everything bagel seasoning, and
we
you just
got it.
throw that on like buttered toast, and it's
Yeah, we do it on our just like turkey sandwiches.
Yeah.
Do a little
I think that's
avocado.
called everything seasoning.
yeah.
Yeah, we do it. Yeah, just toss it on like
Yeah.
whatever. I mean, it's
Yeah.
what garlic, salt, pepper, and like sesame seeds,
Yeah.
something like that. Just
That reminds me of like Mitch Jones has that great joke about the Doritos Locos taco flavored Doritos. And he's like, it's a fucking paradox, man. Because he's like, so there's the chips there's the chips that taste like the taco that was made out of the chips that.
They're just taking the whole taco and grinding it up, making a powdered seasoning out of it.
Yeah, like everything seasoning reminds me of that for some reason.
Tacos.
Charlie, do you wear sandals or spend much time barefooted?
Yes. Not in this cold weather, but
No.
I wear my chacos a lot.
All right, Chaco.
Chacos, and I'm in barefoot. Not necessarily in public barefoot a lot, but like around the house, like if outside, I like being barefoot outside.
Never been barefoot on stage?
Oh yeah, barefoot on stage every time. Just basically, most of the time I'm playing barefoot on stage because I use a lot of foot pedals, and I can use my toes to like turn knobs and push buttons. Very versatile with my feet.
So I'm dexterous with my feet as well. Like I can pick things up, and my girlfriend fucking hates it. Like it freaks her out that I have.
Marciana's gotten
like sometimes I'll just like start rubbing her shoulder, and she'll like think, and then she'll realize it's my foot. And she's like, what the fuck?
It feels good.
If I'm real good and I can get it at the right time, I can get a real good pinch between my big toe and my second toe.
Oh yeah,
like I can get a hold of something and get a real squeeze.
Yeah, I find myself picking up like laundry and stuff with my toes and but yeah, barefoot on stage every time. And if I do have shoes on, I feel distracted. I'm like,
do you feel like it's
not close enough to the ground?
Is it just something that's an additional element that you can use for your pedals, or do you feel grounded when you're barefooted?
That's probably what it is. It's probably both. I feel it's easier to use my pedals, but I feel more connected to.
Wasn't that an old trick to like go on, like if you're having stage fright and not comfortable, to go and like walk around barefoot on the stage before the performance?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Makes sense. So they say that our bodies are electrical beings, and we have an abundance of electrons and negative charged energy, and the ground is like a grounding source. So when you're barefoot and you go touch your feet to bare ground, it like releases all of that negative charge that you have and grounds you out and balances your charge, so it makes you feel better. Apparently it has a lot of health benefits, like with inflammation and I'm not saying
and if you burn Palo Santo while you do it,
exactly. You put a couple crystals up inside you.
Yeah.
Get you
keister some crystals, burn some Palo,
amethyst butt plug,
get grounded.
Oh man,
I do find that they've got these little barefoot pedals that you could. Buttons that you can put on top of your pedals. So, like most effects pedals have little small metal pieces, and they have these little plastic caps that you can put on top of them to be able to press them easier with your barefoot.
Yeah.
And I guess it's a correlation between us musicians that like to play barefoot. But
yeah,
hippies.
Well,
I think I got a call.
Yeah. You think you figured out if Charlie's a hippie or not?
I do. You ready to do it?
Yeah. Well, before we do, where's the best place for people to purchase your music or listen to your music?
Find you online.
Like, where do you get the most money if they check you out?
I think YouTube has the highest payout right now. SoundCloud, pretty good. We've got music out on SoundCloud, that live album out that you can check.
And then where can people follow you?
Facebook, Instagram, Twitter.
At
Charlie Mellinger Band for Facebook. You can find us there. Add me on there. My personal page is pretty music based too. I do most of it there. You get, the Facebook doesn't like to show business stuff unless you pay for it. So a lot of my advertisement comes through my personal page. So check me out there. Instagram, it's Charlie Mellinger Music with an underscore at the end of it. And then I'm also on TikTok. So I've been doing a lot of content creations with video, making good quality videos, and just me playing acoustic guitar and
And outside of the album and stuff, do you got something big or anything you're looking forward to in the new year, 2024?
So we've got Nothing's really set in stone as far as our festival season. We've got a couple offers coming up for festivals, but our most recent thing that we've got going is a small little run with a St. Louis-based guy named Jackson Stokes.
Okay.
Blues, rock, soul, funk. We got a little bit of everything there. He's got a great band based out of St. Louis, like I said. We're going to go play a show up there at Off Broadway.
That's a great venue.
Yeah, I'm playing Off Broadway February 16th. And then February 18th, we're playing at George's Majestic in Fayetteville.
Dude.
And then we're going to go up to Springfield on February 23rd, take a few days off and go back up there the next weekend in Springfield, play at the Outland Ballroom. And 3 shows with them. Jackson's never been down to Fayetteville. We've never been up to St. Louis. So little trade shows and have a good time. That's what we're excited about right now.
George's Majestic is so great. Like I've always, because they have that small stage in the front before you get into the big room, and I always wanted to try to do stand up there before the big show started.
It's a great idea.
Yeah, it's such a wonderful venue.
Now a lot of times they're using the front room as merch sales for bigger shows. They'll set up the merch out there if they've got a big display. But I think having a small show like stand up or like a solo artist doing before or after the show just to kind of keep it going, keep people drinking. Yeah, I think it would be a great idea.
Well, hell yeah.
All right.
3,
2, 1.
Hippie, for sure. Yeah.
I had a pretty good feeling before we even got started, but
We've met a couple times.
Yeah, no, I was like the only thing at all that was like not hippie out of
the gun.
the gun and the church band.
Okay, well, yeah. we've strayed from there a little bit, but got some good life
So he's
lessons
like-
out of there.
Yeah.
You like John Mayer, right? Yeah. You like acid, right?
No. Thanks. I'll take the hippie. I'll take it.
Yeah.
Man. Well, Charlie, thanks for coming by. This was great, man.
Yeah, this was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
You're our
Enjoyed
first
hanging out.
musician that we've had on the show.
Yeah, mainly
so-
comics.
Yeah. Anytime you're coming through, man, I got a loft. You're more than welcome to if you're
Sweet.
ever popping through.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I've found I've got a lot of friends that stay around here and a lot of people that are wanting to hang out. I'm like, I love you all of you, but there's just not enough days in the time that I'm here. All of my friends from Arkansas and Missouri love Colorado, so they all spread out and came out here. But yeah, it gives me opportunity.
It's amazing sometimes how much I miss those Arkansas mountains, though. I mean, I love the Rockies, don't get me wrong, but those...
Those are my place.
The Rockies are fucking big and fancy mountains. Look at how big I am. But at the end of the day, I'd much rather hike in the Black Hills.
Yeah.
And I feel like the Ozarks have a similar. They're in Appalachia. They're just old. They're fucking old, and there's like so much character. They've
So
just
much-
been shaped by the elements for so much longer.
The Rockies are just young, ego-filled mountains.
Yeah,
Appalachians and those that have been around for a while,
Yeah.
they know a thing or two.
But it's so green.
So green. That's
know?
up here. I'm like, oh wow.
And you still have, I mean, we still have, there's black bears down in Arkansas.
Yeah.
I remember armadillos running around all over the place.
too many armadillos.
Yeah.
They're everywhere. Armadillos and possums. We got a bunch of deer and elk out there, and yeah, a lot of good hunting.
Yeah.
For sure. If you like hunting.
If you like hunting, if you like hunting armadillos, it's a place to go. Cool. Well, yeah. Thanks so much, Charlie.
Thank you.
Like, subscribe, and get on the motherfucking
bus.